Off the back of that technical timeout, lovely reverse set. Oh yes, Nishida taking full advantage. It's a key to send it way backside, and even though Brazil had a couple of blockers reacting quickly to it, they couldn't stop that. And that Leal is just reaching.
For a long time, Japanese volleyball lived in the shadows. On the global stage, the spotlight belonged to Europe and the Americas. Taller players, bigger leagues, louder stories. Japan was respected for discipline and speed, but rarely feared. Rarely followed, rarely celebrated. Then something changed. A player appeared who didn't fit the picture at all. Not tall enough, not built like a giant, not raised in a famous volleyball academy. But he jumped higher, hit harder, and played with a fire that refused to be ignored. His name was Yuji Nishida, and without asking for permission, he became the face of a volleyball revival. This is not just the story of a great player. This is the story of belief, of how one athlete rewrote expectations, inspired a generation, and reminded the world that greatness doesn't come in one size. To understand how Yuji Nishida changed Japanese volleyball, we have to go back to where it all began. Nishida was born and raised in Mie Prefecture, a quiet region far away from Japan's major sports centers. There were no elite volleyball systems around him, no famous pipelines, no guarantees. But inside his home, volleyball was already part of daily life. All of his siblings played the sport. It wasn't something special at first. It was simply what the family did. As the youngest, Nishida followed along, touching a volleyball almost as soon as he could walk. By the age of 5, he was officially playing. What started as routine slowly became passion. By elementary school, Nishida was no longer just participating. He was competing. At 10 years old, he helped his team win the 29th All-Japan Volleyball Tournament in Mie. It wasn't a massive national headline, but for Nishida, it mattered. Not because of trophies, but because he learned something early. You didn't need height to read the game. While others stood out physically, Nishida stood out mentally. His timing, his instincts, his awareness. He saw gaps before they opened. He learned where defenders moved before they moved there. Still, recognition didn't come easily. In Japan, opposite hitters are usually tall, very tall. Many stand over 1.9 meters. Nishida didn't grow into that mold. As he got older, scouts looked at him and looked away. To them, elite volleyball had rules, and Nishida broke them. But Nishida never believed the rules applied to him. He had a role model, Kunihiro Shimizu. Shimizu was everything Nishida was told he couldn't be. A dominant left-handed opposite, a two-time Olympian, a V-League champion. Japan's captain, a scorer who carried the national team for nearly a decade. When Nishida watched Shimizu play, he didn't feel small. He felt seen. If Shimizu could lead Japan on the world stage, then there was a path, not an easy one. But a real one. That belief shaped every decision Nishida made next. When it came time to choose a high school, most top prospects chased prestige. They went to famous volleyball schools like Higashi Fukuoka or Seijo, where national titles were expected and scouts filled the stands. Nishida chose a different road. He enrolled at Kaisei High School, a school with no major volleyball history and no national reputation. To outsiders, it looked like a mistake, but Nishida wasn't looking for borrowed success. He wanted to build his own. He trained relentlessly. On top of school volleyball, he played for a local under-19 club, Verita Mie. At times, he trained with 3 different teams at once, different systems, different coaches, different levels of competition. By the time he reached the Mie Prefectural Championships, Nishida wasn't just surviving, he was leading. Verita Mie won the under-19 boys division. Then they won a national title. There were no bright lights, no viral clips yet, but in small gyms against players who underestimated him, Nishida sharpened his edge. His left-handed swing became a weapon. His vertical leap turned blocks into decorations. And then came the week no one expected, professional volleyball. On January 6, 2018, at just 17 years old, Yuji Nishida made his early debut with the JT Stings against Osaka Blazers. There was no hype around him, no dramatic introduction. He was young, untested, and physically smaller than most opposite hitters in the league. The V-League doesn't forgive weakness. Veteran blockers, complex systems, no patience for mistakes. Most expected Nishida to blend in. Instead, he scored 26 points. In the first set, it was clear this wasn't a fluke. Nishida wasn't playing around the system. He was the system. Every jump changed the move. Every swing forced defenders to adjust. By the end of the season, he wasn't just a rookie. He was a problem. Nishida finished his debut season winning the Best New Player Award for the 2018-19 year, shared with Panasonic Panthers in Savannah. He also earned the same honor for Hiroshi. Japanese volleyball had found something rare, and the world was about to see it. On May 25th, 2018, in Lyon, France, Nishida made his debut in Japan's best result in 2018. During that run, he became the youngest player ever to score 30 points in a single World Championship match. When he was named Best Opposite in the tournament, it wasn't just a name. It was a message to Japan fans. 2019 Volleyball Nations League only reinforced that. Against Bulgaria, Nishida served 7 aces in one match, setting the tournament record. His serve wasn't just power. It was strategic, timed, and ruthless. Then came Tokyo, the Olympics, home soil, delayed by a pandemic, carrying the weight of a nation. Nishida delivered. He became the first male player in the rally scoring era to score over 30 points in a single Olympic match. He finished the tournament with 105 total points. Japan placed 7th, their best Olympic finish in 29 years, but his impact went far beyond numbers. Social media exploded. Fans compared him to Hinata from Haikyuu, not as a joke, but as a symbol, a smaller player who flew higher than anyone else. Nishida leaned into it. He started a YouTube channel, shared behind-the-scenes moments, showed honesty in a culture that often hides its stars. But his story wasn't built alone. Alongside players like Yuki Ishikawa and Ran Takahashi, Nishida became part of a core that changed Japan's style. Faster, sharper, fearless. Then came the hardest chapter, Italy. In 2021, Nishida joined Viro Volley Monza in Serie, one of the toughest leagues in the world. The early signs were promising. His speed impressed, his vertical stunned, then injuries hit. An ankle sprain, then a calf injury. Months lost, confidence tested, alone in a foreign country. But Nishida adapted. He refined his timing, his angles, his efficiency. On January 12, 2022, he returned and scored 29 points against Monza, including 8 aces, a Serie A record. He didn't just come back, he evolved. In 2022, he returned to Japan. Later that year, he married Sarina Koga, captain of Japan's women's national team. 2 elite athletes, one shared understanding. Leadership followed naturally. After Paris 2024, Nishida stepped away temporarily to recover physically and mentally. In 2024, he led Japan to its first ever VNL silver medal, ending a 50-year drought. Now his legacy is clear. Yuji Nishida didn't just change Japanese volleyball. He changed what people believed was possible. And if you stayed with me till the end, drop your favorite Nishida moment in the comments. If you love deep sports stories like this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for Nina's Scoop. Because this channel is about the stories behind greatness, and this is only the beginning.